I'm gonna pick back up where I left off at, continue this cutback of boxwoods and perennials and herbaceous perennials throughout the garden. So this area right here receives morning sun and a little bit of evening sun. It has a boxwood hedge, and it also has an arborvitae, a Hydrangea arborvitae, as a centerpiece. And within that boxwood hedge, I have some crocus roses, some David Austin crocus roses. So I've already went through here. Let me show you guys. So I've already went in here and cut back these 4 David Austin roses. I'm gonna have to stake this one up because it's starting to lean this way. And do a little bit more weeding. As you can see, that one right there is starting to become engulfed in the weeds. There's my sweet autumn clematis up here, which has started to bloom for the autumn season, well, ahead of the autumn season. So guys, I'm in zone 7A, the Mid-Atlantic, and I gotta get in here and clean out some of the dead growth in there. It's been a very dry summer. We've had our bouts of heavy rainfall, but for the most, it's been pretty dry. I've got a carpet of creeping Jenny down here. Taking a closer look at these boxwood. I'm gonna run through here. You can tell this one is suffering from some spider mite damage. So I'm gonna come in here and cut these back and just pretty much continue on with the cutback of the perennials. So we're expecting some rain this afternoon, so I don't think it's going to be effective for me to go ahead and spray these boxwood and treat them for spider mites. So I'll probably do that or attempt that tomorrow. Right now I'm just going to stick to the pruning and the cutback. This right here is an abelia grandiflora. So abelia grandiflora produces these, most of the varieties produce these small, tiny bell-like flowers. They're very fragrant. They start to bloom around the same time the sweet autumn clematis starts to bloom, like I showed you guys earlier. So this one here is a variety that tends to get up to 12 feet tall and wide. And I've got 2 right here in the front of the border for that impact. And what I intend to do is just keep their height, maintain their height around 5-6 feet. So this one here has already reached roughly 5 feet. To promote bushiness, I'm gonna cut it down to 4 feet so that the growth habit can be outward versus upward. So this thicket of shrubs I have here, in addition to these abelia grandiflora, I have two huge Alice oak leaf hydrangeas. These are Hydrangea corsifolia. The leaves have that familiar oak leaf pattern that we have all grown to love. The flowers are spent right now. Let's see if I can cut one off to show you guys. So here's a spent flower right here. It ages to this beautiful dusty pink, rusty pink color. Very attractive, and it makes a beautiful addition to your dry arrangements if you're into, making dry arrangement flowers. So that's our oak leaf. That's our Alice oak leaf hydrangea. I have two of them. This one here, in addition to this one over here. That one I actually had to cut back. It had a really tall leader that bent over in some inclement weather, some heavy rains, and it actually broke. It had flowers on it, so I had to kind of cut it back a bit. That's fine. Eventually what I like is for both of them to join. And besides the weeds, the pokeweed that you see back here, and I do suffer from a lot of weeds. There's pokeweeds. Here's that English ivy. That's a nemesis. It seeds everywhere. Well, at least the birds bring it here. There's a small phlox flower right there. That one right there, and these two right here, which are currently suffering from some powdery mildew. As you guys can see, it has spots on the leaves, spots all up and down the stems. It does not kill the plant, but it does leave it rather unsightly. And back here I have a pinky winky. It's put on some substantial growth within the past 2.5 years. I did not prune it this spring, so that's why the growth is starting to project outward. And over here I have these two Annabelle hydrangeas. That's the larger of the two. Okay. And let's kind of step back from the entire bed. Lots of weeds. Lots of beautiful plants, but lots of weeds in amongst them. So that's why you got to get out here and do your maintenance. This right here is autumn brilliance fern. It really shines. It's a very durable, it could be a herbaceous perennial, and it could be an evergreen depending on where you are, like what zone you're in. I think if you're in zones 8 and above, it can be a perennial. But for me, part of it dies back. I have about, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 plants in here. And this ground cover right here is your Haklanocloa, or Japanese forest grass. You could tell it kind of suffered some leaf burn from the drought we've had. All right, guys, so I'm gonna continue with my pruning in this bed. And keep trucking. So right up in here, I have a little bird's nest, or they were at least attempting to build a nest here, and pretty much realized that this was a high traffic area, so they clearly abandoned it. But yeah, pretty neat to see. All right, so this is it for now. Now, I would rather do a deep prune or a heavy prune on this rose, but I realized that we only have, I don't know, probably 60 more days, a little bit over 2 months left of warm weather, and I didn't want to cut it too drastic going into the fall and winter months. So this is good enough.